It's been a couple of sets since this Usopp leader has been released, but there's been trickling in some sort of support here and there, so here's a new deck profile. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mabi here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this blue and black Usopp leader that originally came out in OP10. This deck will be for OP13 and below if you want to play it in that format. Now, the whole game plan here is the whole deck is pretty much Dressrosa. I would say around 98% of the deck is Dressrosa characters and events. You want to go fairly early, get a lot of your really nice searching cards to get your stage. That's super important. Then mid game, you have your good amounts of blockers, some really good cards to help you sift and stuff. And then towards the late game, your late game is only 7 cost characters, but you have quite a lot in order to rush down and beat down your opponent. So let's talk about every single card in this video breakdown. If you just want the deck profile though, pause the video, head on over to the website, MabiTCG.com. There you can get this deck and every single other deck that we cover in image and text format. Let's talk about every single card, starting with the leader first. Let me know down below what leader you would want me to cover next, and we'll get on to that. Alright, Usopp. OP10, 5000 range, Dressrosa / Straw Hat Crew. The only relevant tag here is going to be Dressrosa. 2 abilities. The first one here is all of your Dressrosa type characters with a cost of 2 or more gain 1 cost. So this specifically means characters that are already on the board. So if you already have a 2 cost in your hand, don't worry, it still plays for 2. Once it hits the field, it will be a 3, and that's pretty much going to be for defensive purposes only. Like, oh, you know, your opponent plays something that rests a 5 cost character. Well, your 5 cost might be a 6 in that case. Second ability, during your opponent's turn, once per turn, this effect can be activated when one of your Dressrosa type characters is removed from the field by one of your opponent's effects or it's KO'd. If you have 5 or less cards, you get to draw 1 card. So pretty much any time a card will be removed, even if it's attacked into, if it's bounced back, if it's quote unquote trashed, as long as they have 5 or less, you will draw 1. Now, there are a lot of times where maybe you have like 7, 8 cards. You don't want to counter down just so this can activate, but if you can make it work, you know, by countering out of 1 card, then the next attack, your opponent hits a character, feel free to use this. So it's going to be really up to your discretion whether or not you have a bunch of cards already, don't bother going down, or you are teetering at 5 or 6, then you want to keep track and try to get as much as you can here. All right. So if you guys are enjoying the video so far, please make sure to like and sub. It really helps out the channel. We have daily duels. And remember, I just launched another channel. It's called Mabi TCG Union Arena, which is where we're now posting Union Arena cards over there. Link down below for that. All right, so the first card here, we'll go to low to high cost. This is Leo, OP10, 121, Tontatas and Dressrosa. On play, you may rest your leader or one of your stage cards. If your leader is Usopp, look at the top 5, reveal 2 Dressrosa cards other than Leo, add them to your hand, put the rest to the bottom, then you trash 1 card from your hand. So you play this, you rest the stage or your leader. If you play this going first and this leader wants to go number 1, you want to go first. All right, guys, your best cards are going to be this 1 and your 7s. You have a really good 4 cost, but you really want to go first. You want to be able to swarm as much as possible. So going going first is really good. Okay, so yeah, this helps you sift, find some good stuff, and you do want a lot of stuff in your trash. Your whole game plan is going to be leading up to this Luffy here, which requires you to have 7 cards in your trash in order to activate its ability. So this one will help you search, because you look at 5 cards, you get rid of extra bricks in your hand, then you trash 1. Nice, really good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're thinking about using this, if you do go second, the best case scenario is to have a Leo plus your stage. In the future, you probably don't want to just use the Leo to search because you have to rest your leader. But if you have that stage, that's good. We have 8 searching cards in this deck, and you really want to start with your stage if possible. This whole sort of game plan here, it really helps if you just have the stage. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind a lot. So Leo, powerful searching, a little bit weaker later if you don't find your stage. All right, next is Rebecca, the other searching card we have in the deck. From OP04, 121, on play, look at the top 3, grab a Dressrosa type card other than Rebecca, then you trash the rest. So this is weaker because you don't search for 2 more cards. However, you still get to trash something, which once again helps out with your game plan. So we're running 4 of these. Now for your Kurita Coliseum. If you start the game with this, don't even bother mulliganing. Keep this damn thing. OP04, it is cost 1. If your leader has Dressrosa, your characters that have Dressrosa, which, like I said, 98% of the cards in the deck is Dressrosa characters. They can attack characters on the turn that are played, and this only means legal cards. So the characters essentially have a pseudo rush. They can attack only characters, however, legal characters. So your opponent has to have characters that are rested, or if you have a character that says it can attack active characters, then it can be able to attack them. We saw a lot of this just recently with the new Kobe leader that came out a couple of sets ago, but it really originated here, the effect, from Kurita Coliseum. The only card that can actually attack other characters is going to be this Luffy. Other than that, every other card here can attack rested characters only. Can't rush and attack leaders. Really want really want these, so you're running 4. And don't worry if you get extras. You have lots of ways to trash stuff from your hand via this Leo, via this upcoming 4-cost Cavendish. Is really nice. Okay, Ideo from OP04 221. This just has a neat blocker, very cheap blocker. Dressrosa is searchable by things. Later on, like I said, your highest cost is 7. You don't need anything higher. So with more of your extra Dawn they could use to attach and attack, you can always just drop this out as well. This card can also be summoned by your 7-cost Rebecca later as well. So Ideo, just a nice, strong, basic card. Very easy to remove, but that's pretty much what it's here for. Your cheap defense and their sort of cheap removal to get rid of it. All right, next up, Barto, your first of your 2Ks. We're running a total of 10 2K cards in the deck. So this is Barto from OP04 332. This just has blocker. Same thing as Ideo, however, 1,000 more attack, will cost 1 more, but it's a 2K. So these guys are pretty much going to be your blockers for the most part, the whole game. Really powerful stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we're running one of these Gum King Kong guns. OP04, this one costs 3 Dressrosa Straw Hats, so once again, it's searchable by all your stuff. So activate this during your main. One of your Dressrosa type characters gains 6,000 power. Then at the time, if you have 15 or more cards in your trash, that card also gains double attack. You can use it on any Dressrosa card, but the best one is absolutely going to be this Luffy one, and we'll talk about it why in a bit, but just so you know, that's the card you want to use it on mostly. The trigger here is draw 3 in trash 2. That's an insanely great sifting card. Man, if you like take a first hit, you draw 3 cards, and dude, it's so good. Especially if you have multiple of these or you haven't found any of your Coliseums yet, draw and trash them. Okay, next is Cavendish. Now, this is an extremely powerful card. If you end up going seconds, as long as you have a Cavendish, you're going to be in good shape. Okay, so OP10 460. This is Brick. When attacking, once per turn, draw 2, trash 1. You go net positive 1, get rid of garbage in your hand, and because this is Dressrosa, you have your stage. If your opponent somehow was able to have a character rested on the board already, or even late game, if you just need to keep sifting and drawing cards, throw out the Cavendish. Then it has the pseudo rush to start attacking rested characters. Extremely high priority for your opponent to remove, so they might not even attack you, and they're going to go ahead and just try to get rid of this as much as possible. That's where your leader ability comes into play. When you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw a card. If your opponent has, let's say, 2 attackers, they attack this for like 8,000 or something, use 2 cards to get rid of it, a 2K, a 1K, maybe you end up at 5, they attack it again, you can save it, or you can get rid of it, have it be KO'd, and then you get to draw, so at least you got to use up a lot of their attacks instead of going for your leader, you get to use your leader's ability, etc. So the Cavendish, it's honestly how your opponent plays around this is really going to make or break your duel. Okay, because if they leave it on the field, you're just going to get attacks every single turn. And even if it's attacks and it gets blocked or countered out of, you still get to draw the card. Next, it's going to be Zoro from OP10 460. Another Brick. On play, rest up to one of your leaders or characters, Dressrosa. So you absolutely don't want to, get rid of your, you don't want to rest your leader, which is why, like I said, it's super important that you get this Coliseum out ASAP. Not only do your characters attack, but the Leo and the Zoro here requires you to rest your leader or that stage. And of course, you want to rest the stage if you're able to do so. KO a 4-cost or lower character. This is nice because they don't have to be rested or anything. It's just a character on the field. Then you place the 2 cards from your top of your deck into your trash. This is good too. Once again, you want cards in the trash. Now, one thing that you can do, if there's nothing on your opponent's field to KO, but you still have your Kurita Coliseum, etc., you can still rest that and then not KO anything, but still trash the top 2 in order to allow you to use more of that Luffy's ability. So keep that in mind, like if you want to use it. It's not, you don't always have to KO something to throw this down. A 6,000, it's pretty good. And trashing 2 on the top helps you enable your late game. So running for these guys here. Okay, next up, another 2K. This is Sabo. It's one to release an OP10. Revolutionary Army Dressrosa 452. If one of your characters other than Sabo with an original cost of 7 or lower would be removed from the board by your opponent's effect, either trashing, KOing effect, bouncing back, you may instead bounce this character back to your hand. Really nice, really powerful. You have really good 4-cost Dawn cards to play, but if you miss somehow, feel free to play the Sabo. It's honestly not the worst. Your highest cost, once again, is a 7 cost, and you would rather keep it on the field. This one will help you keep it alive. And if you really need to, it can be an attacker later. But once again, if you miss on your 4 costs, at least you can play this, right? Running 3 of these. Or 2 of these. No, 3. Okay, next up. It's a new card from OP13, which is why I'm remaking this deck, because this is a really good card for the deck. Sabo, OP13, 670. Manga alt art. Blocker. Nice. Blocking for 7, pretty good. Activate main once per turn. Up to one of your characters gains 2 costs until the end of your opponent's turn. Then give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader. Now, this leader doesn't really matter or not. Like, your ability doesn't matter if you don't have or have an extra Dawn on it. But putting that extra one just gives you a little bit more of that punch, you know, to really destroy characters. What's really important is that you get the +2 cost for defense. This character will be a 9 cost, to be honest, because your leader ability buffs it up. And you can buff it up, so it'll be a 9 for defensive purposes. It's a little weak if you play it on curve. However, the 7,000 defense is great, and you mostly, if you need to play it on curve, do so. But you're mostly going to be playing it via the Rebecca card that summons 7 costs or lower Dressrosa cards. But it's a very good card in general. 1, 2, 3. All right, time for the last of your 2Ks. This is a Barto that came out in OP11 672. No effects here. It's searching card. Why do you want this in the deck? Well, remember, you have the stage, Create a Coliseum. If you somehow miss your 6 costs, or if you don't have anything good to play with Rebecca, but you still want to play another card on the board, this one can at least attack and be a 7,000. So it's not terrible in that regard. Otherwise, keep it in your hand to be a 2K. 1, 2, 3. Now, for your super late game cards, the first one is going to be Gum Red Rock. Remember I said this is like 95, 98% Dressrosa. This Gum Red Rock is not Dressrosa. You can't search for it. However, it's one of the best blue cards removal in the whole game. I recommend running 2 of these. This is nice. So, 6 costs. Straw Hat, main, bottom deck, any character, doesn't matter. Of course, your opponent might have ways to get around it, but in general, you want to remove their big bosses. The trigger here is place a 4 cost at the bottom of the deck. If this goes off early, man, that's really powerful. All right, now time for the last cards of the deck. These are really good. So the first one is Kairos. This is the strongest base power in the deck. Dressrosa, OP10, 790. On play, you go ahead and bounce back a 5 cost back to their hand. That's not terrible. Unfortunately, it doesn't bottom deck it. That would be so good. But hey, getting rid of a 5 cost is not bad. Your opponent has to replay it again, and you better hope that it's not a really good on playability. But even if it is, and you play a super late game, there's using 5 Dawn instead of using that 5 Dawn to play a bigger card, right? So it's not the worst that you just bounce something back. And remember, once again, the stage, that the importance of the stage. Once you play this card via playing it out straight out with 7 or more Dawn, or playing it with Rebecca, you have a 9,000 pseudo rush card to help remove your opponent's board. Now, a weakness here is you have no way of actually resting the opponent's characters, and I think that's what really sucks about this deck. If they don't have any rested characters, you have no way of even pseudo rushing attacking. But if they're somehow doing a lot of rushing, etc., they're gonna have a lot of rested. Okay, so that's how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's your strongest card. Next off, win condition or Luffy is also your win condition, and we are running 2 of these. This one originally came out in OP04 770. This character can also attack active. Remember, I said they can attack active, so even if you like I said, the weakness is, there's no rested characters. If they have anything, you can attack them straight out. Okay, other ability, main. Active once per turn, you may return 7 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck. Set this character as active. Then this character will not become active in your next refresh phase. So you can attack the turn that this comes out. However, you are using a minimum 7 Dawn to do so, and that means you have 7,000. You put 7 Dawn back, and then you restand and you attack 7 again. A really good way to use this card. Absolutely, it's going to be next turn. You keep it on the field. Maybe you can attack with it if you want, and you hopefully it's going to be saved by either countering out or Sabo or whatever. But now we're going to go back and talk about the King Kong gun. This is pretty much made for this and paired for it. So if you're able to play this 7 Dawn next turn, survive whatever, and hopefully have 15 or more cards in your trash, which is why, once again, a lot. So 7 or less, or 7 or more in the trash is good for the ability. Then if you have 15 or more, you want to activate this before you obviously return the 7 back, because you might not even have enough. But you put 6,000 more, this will be a 13,000 base character without even extra Dawn attached to it. Then you can attack their face, hopefully double damage, you restand, attack again, double damage again. Or you can just use that to really attack active characters. They have like a, I don't know, like a really powerful 9,000 on the board. You can attack them multiple times, really good. So this card is like perfect for this, but once again, you can also use it for Kairos. He can attack for 15,000 and like start doing some crazy stuff there. But yes, basically that is what you want to do with this. Now you also got to be careful, because once you use the ability, right, he will not become active again in the refresh phase, meaning you attack, put the stuff away, restand, attack, that's it. It's going to be there, vulnerable to be attacked, and you can't even restand it later. However, what you can do is, if you suspect that you're not even going to bother using it or attacking it again, you can go ahead and attack once, put it back up with 7, then on your next turn, you can do the same thing. You can go ahead and attack and then restand it again. So there's different ways you can do it. Like right away, if you have to wait a turn, then use your, use your Gum Giant, King Kong gun, or the turn you have it, attack, put it up, leave it there, so it's pretty not vulnerable to attacks, and then you continue doing stuff. So lots of ways to play this card. It's just really weak in attack, but that's why you have multiple hits in. All right, time for the last card of the deck, and this one pretty much enables you to be a sort of swarm deck towards the late game. Rebecca from OP10 741. On play, if there's a character with 8 costs or more, you get to draw 1 card. Oh man, no 8 costs more. Well, you remember your leader ability, every card is an 8. So Rebecca herself will be an 8 cost. Now, even if you didn't have an 8 cost character on the board, you can still do the secondary effect. I'm just letting you know that it's really good in Usopp in particular, because she is an 8 cost. So if character for 8 or more, you get to draw 1 card. Nice, she replaces herself, but then reveal 2 Dressrosa type characters with a cost of 7 other than Rebecca from your hand. So you're going to be showing 2 characters that are 7 or less. However, realistically, let's read the rest of this. Then you play 1 of the revealed card, and then the other one rested if it's a 4 cost. So basically what you want to do is you play Rebecca for 7, then you play either Luffy, Kairos, Barto, or Sabo. You play them active on your field, which is your 7 or less. And then you play a 4 cost or less, which is going to be rested. If your opponent has a lot of removal, put down the Sabo to remove from abilities. You can KO something on the board with that, or you can have Cavendish as a threat to continue, doing stuff next turn. So if you really need those blockers, and that's why the Sabo is really good. Even though like these guys are good for attacking right away, if you need more blockers, Rebecca, who can attack ASAP with 4,000, but you can block with Sabo, use his ability to give your leader much more punch. Or on the next turns, you can put Barto rested, Ideo rested, so then they are a threat blocker for the following turns. Or if everything looks good, or you don't have any other options, you can't throw out Rebecca, but you can throw out this Leo here, which is going to be good for searching. So you have a lot of great combinations, and I think that's what makes this Usopp deck really nice towards the late game. You just have Rebecca, and then you have a lot of different attackers, or potential blockers, or potential, card advantage stuff. It's just a lot of good stuff. So it's Rebecca. It really enables the deck. It's good. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. Make sure to leave a like and sub. It really helps a lot. And let me know down below which decks you want me to cover next. It could be your favorite ones. It could be something upcoming. Just to remember, we might have already covered it. So check out the website so you can see, or any of the recent sort of videos that we have on here. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Let me know what you guys think about the deck, and I'll see you next time. Bye.